Hello everybody, I'm coming at you today with a fun, fast ATC that you can make. It's June and my kids are on summer break, which means that my day is basically split up into 2.5 hour segments because I'm taking one kid here, picking one up from work, and so on and so forth. So I don't have much time to create for the summer. However, ATC is relatively easy and fast, and it still keeps my creative mojos going. So I thought it would be fun to create with you today the ATC that I'm going to be making for the hashtag ATC AD2017. That's a fun little challenge that's going on social media that you can hashtag your ATCs to, upload them on Instagram. That's where I'm doing mine. And get to see other people's art. So that's what I'm doing. But anyway, getting back to this. This ATC that I'm making today is actually a digital download. It is the tags download for Gypsy, Love or Soul. I think she calls it Gypsy Soul from Calico Collage. So I'm going to be using this as well as the bottle caps from that same line. I know that a lot of people think that bottle caps are one note and you can only do one thing, but they're really not. They're some of my favorite things to work with. So I'm going to show you one way you can do that today without pulling out a bottle cap, but I like to put them in bottle caps too. The first thing that I'm doing is I'm going to distress all of my edges with Aged Mahogany Distress ink by Tim Holtz. This is a Ranger product, and I'm just doing this to add a little bit of personality to the ATC card. For the sake of time, I have already gone ahead and trimmed everything down. I'm going to show you how I'm going to use rubber cement on this. Something that I want you guys to keep in mind is that if you have beautiful digital downloads that you want to use in a project, but let's say that you don't have the right printer paper, like I don't have, this is copy paper. I don't have the right printer paper. The paper that I have is far too thick for my printer. It's cardstock, heavy duty cardstock, and that just doesn't work. So I still wanted to create, so it's better to go on regular printer paper. And I'm going to show you how to do that today and get around that typical fear of using flimsy paper. So I'm just distressing all the edges of the pieces that I'm going to use first. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to adhere with my rubber cement. Since this is copy paper and I am going to trade it, I don't want it to fall apart on the individual that is going to have it in their collection. So it's important that it is permanently secure. I've already had my information on the back of the card. Ooh, I'm glad I flipped it over because I would have put that on backwards. So here's all my information. I'm just going to go ahead and permanently adhere with this. Now, the trick to using rubber cement is if you want a permanent adhesive, meaning one that's not going to move, is you're going to apply your rubber cement all in one direction on one sheet, one side that you're adhering. Then you're going to do it in the opposite direction of the other sheet. Now this is going to be tricky because I'm going to off-center it. However, it's not going to be off-centered so much that it's going to make that much of a difference and come up. If you don't want a permanent, and when you are using this and you have to wait to do your next craft project, if it's within an hour, make sure that you put the lid on. You don't want it tilted because the air will kill it. So you don't have to seal it or, you know, twist it, but just make sure that you have that directly on to keep the air out. If you want to do this technique and you don't want a permanent adhesive, all you have to do is just one side of it. You can slap it on wet. The benefit of that is it's movable, so I can move it around on placement. Like with this, I got to get it right the first time. So, and since it's going to be off center, it shouldn't be too hard. Now, while that dries, I'm going to go ahead and work on this one. And I need to definitely make this a little bit more stable because that's pretty flimsy, right? So again, I'm going to go this direction on this. And then I'm going to flip it over and go opposite direction because I want this to be a permanent adhesive hold too. The beauty of rubber cement is all that stuff that I got on my craft table. I can totally just rub it up with my finger and it comes up really nicely. So let's put this off and let this dry for a moment. And I'm just going to go ahead and remove the residue of that rubber cement that I laid down. You can even remove it when it's not dry, like I'm doing right now. I call the residue the boogers. I call them my rubber cement boogers. I'm a big rubber cement fan. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and adhere this. And like I said, I get one shot at this. If I put it on wrong, I am in big trouble. So I want it a little bit off center. All right, so there we go. Now I'm going to go around. As you remember, I applied that rubber cement all over this card. So I have it here. Now look at this. I'm able to just rub it right off and there'll be nothing left on it. Isn't that cool? It's one of the great things. I just wish that they had rubber cement in craft stores. They don't carry it in your paper crafting stores, and I can't even find it always in Joann's. It's crazy. Okay, so she's ready and she's not flimsy anymore. She's not going anywhere. This is ready to rock and roll. Now we're going to go ahead and do this. I have to remember which end there it is. Rubber cemented on. Oh, I got a booger right there. I don't want that. You don't want your boogers because if you have the rubber cement boogers, it'll cause bubbling. You can see it. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and just rub this off. I really don't need to rub this off because I'm going to use a circle punch on it. But it just, by rubbing it like this, it really seals the deal for me, and I like that. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use my 1-inch circle punch, but I'm going to turn it over to make sure I lined it up. If I don't get it lined up perfectly, it is okay because I can just ink the edges again. But this always ensures a better bet that I am going to get this lined up. That looks pretty good. Look at that. I see some white, so I'm going to go ahead and just ink the edges again. And again, this is Aged Mahogany by Tim Holtz. His Distress Ink. Ranger makes it. Okay, there it is. So now let's go ahead and finish up our card. The saying on this card is, I'd rather wear flowers in my hair than diamonds around my neck. Clearly, I'm not going to be doing any bling on this card because that would contradict the saying, and I don't want to do that. The first thing I'm going to do is I found this really pretty metal butterfly I wanted to use. So I'm going to put this on some pop dots to give it some dimension, and it also will allow me to go ahead and slide that butterfly right under this little cute saying. Okay, so I'm going to put this as close to the edge as I can. All right, there we go. So now I'm going to go ahead and just take this up and slide right under. And I'm going to use some Beacon 3-in-1 to do that. Since that's going to be going underneath of it, it's okay if I have it a little bit out. Okay, now let me add a flower. I have these cute little flowers from 49 at Market. It's so funny. I used to never understand why anyone would want such tiny, tiny flowers. I always wanted the big stuff. But then once I started to make ATCs, I totally had a new appreciation for them. Now you could call this good, but I like to add something down in the bottom to kind of balance it out. So I'm going to go ahead and add another cute little butterfly from my stash. I think I'm going to have them all. Yeah, we'll do that. On the bottom, and one more flower. I don't want to do another set of 3 because that would leave this with 6. Even numbers of embellishments bother me. Your eye does better with odd numbers, and you don't really want more than 7. I find that when you split it up like this, where you have one cluster here and one cluster here, it's nice to have 3 here and 2 here. And then I'm going to do a little flower at the bottom. And that's my ATC card. It's ready to be traded. I'm going to go offer it up to trade right now. Let me give you a better view of this. So that took me maybe 12, 13 minutes to make. I probably did about 5 minutes of prep work beforehand. So you can easily make an ATC within a half an hour and get your creative mojo going. Anyway, I'm going to be doing quite a few things on my Instagram with ATCs this month, as well as probably on my YouTube channel. So please make sure that you subscribe. Give this video a like, click. Any kind of action that you have on the video helps my channel, and I truly, truly appreciate it. So I will go ahead and take a picture of this, upload it on my Instagram. You can find me on Instagram under Bets Golden. You also can find me on Facebook under Bets Golden, Twitter, Bets Golden. And I have a Facebook page that I do some of the outtakes of my art and behind the scenes thing. It's called Scrappy Cafe. So go ahead and check that out as well. Anyway, until next time, I hope you guys have a fabulous week, and I cannot wait to see what you create if you decide to do some ATCs or whatever you do. Until next time, happy crafting.